Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to go over an article titled Woman Horrified at Ex-Husband's Divorce Payback. And guys, this whole article is about a woman who she got married to a guy she wasn't really in love with, you're going to see in the article. And after a few years of marriage, basically, in her view, he wasn't giving her enough attention and all that. So she started getting it outside the marriage with one of her coworkers. And as you're going to see, one thing leads to another, and karma really comes back to bite her in the ass. All right? And ultimately, it leads to her husband definitely getting some serious payback on her having the affair and cheating on him. Now, guys, before I go into the article, I will say this. I got to make this clear. I've said this before, this is not the relationship channel, okay? However, I've been in enough relationships in my life to obviously learn some things. And this is very important. So for you guys that are watching here that either are married or are in relationships or just relationship type of guys, because I know I got plenty of you that watch me, understand this, that if you don't give your lady or your girlfriend or your fiance or wife a certain level of attention and validation, believe me, eventually, she will get it someplace else, okay? And you'll never see it coming because most guys don't, all right? And I'm not saying you need to shower them with attention and validation because there are women that are so needy, they need to be showered with attention and validation. And I would avoid those women like the plague because they're usually, like I said, very needy. They probably have daddy issues because daddy didn't pay enough attention to them or something, so they got to get it from you. And those are definitely the type, if they don't get it all the time, they're getting it someplace else. And guys, in today's world, it is so easy for a woman who's just okay looking, average, to get flooded with attention from guys on social media, dating apps, you name it. And if she's good looking, she actually is, like, let's just say an 8 or above, oh God, she's going to just get flooded. The floodgates will open the second she's not getting it from her boyfriend or her husband or fiance on the dating app. She can make fake names so that you can't track her down and get a lot of attention, and she will eventually cheat or replace you. Okay, I'm not saying all women will do this, but a lot do. And in today's world, sadly, it's almost promoted, right? So for you guys that are, again, are in relationships, you got to give her a little attention. Also, you need to make room, no matter how busy you are, to take her out now and again and court her like you did before you guys got married or whatever. Because a lot of guys think, she's got the ring on her finger, I don't have to do shit. Wrong. You gotta take her out every once in a while and show her a good time and have fun like you did when you're dating. Again, otherwise, she will get that attention and validation and courting someplace else. However, it does not excuse any woman from cheating on a guy. Okay? Just like in this particular story here. No excuse whatsoever, okay? She needs to sit the guy down and talk to him in direct communication about why she's upset and things that he can do to help her out. And when I say direct communication, I don't mean dropping hints, hoping he'll figure it out. Because most women don't directly communicate with their man. They drop hints. And worse yet, they drop hints at the worst time, when usually a guy's sitting down watching the playoffs, or he just got home from a busy day at work, and she'll start dropping these hints. Okay, no. About 5% of my viewers are women, so any women that are watching this, and you do relationships, pay attention. You got an issue, there's something unhappy with in your relationship with your guy, and you want to keep the relationship, you got to sit him down, be as direct as possible. Hints don't work. Okay? And if you're going to go cheat, it can come back and bite you in the ass, just like this story. So, just had to say a little piece, guys, because I know I got a lot of relationship guys and married guys who watch me. Wanted to point that out to help you out. Okay. Starts off, when Kay married Rob 8 years ago, she claims she was never madly in love with him. Big surprise there. Her reasons for marrying him were simple. She was pregnant and felt obligated to tie the knot. Guys, so many women will get married and they're not even remotely in love with the guy. They're either pregnant or their biological clock has gone off. They want to get a ring on their finger. They want to be a Mrs. just for the sake of how society will view them. So understand this. But when their son was 3 years old, Kay met someone else and had an affair. She says she now deeply regrets her actions. They always say that afterwards. I didn't quite think things through. I thought I didn't love Rob, and I also thought that he didn't love me. So I thought, what was the point of us staying together, she says. Okay, fine, if that's how you felt, you should have sat the guy down and communicated with him that you're unhappy, or ended the marriage, not have an affair. I met Tim through my work. He was a few years younger than me and single. For the first time since having my son, I was able to feel like a young woman again. Tim and I went out for drinks every Friday after work. I'd just tell Rob that it was officially work drinks and that everyone in the office was attending. But the truth was, it was only Tim and me, and that's how our affair started. We hired hotel rooms, and sometimes if his roommate was out, we'd stay for hours at his apartment. I felt guilty, but at the same time, I felt like I felt like I deserved this new love affair because my marriage had gone so stale since I'd become a mother. Rob no longer looked at me like a woman. He just saw me as our son's mother and was craving attention and affection. What'd I tell you about attention? Now, here's the deal. She says that her husband was no longer looking at her like a woman. Did she put on a shitload of weight after having that kid and not done anything about losing the weight? Did she stop taking care of herself? Did she start dressing like a slob with the mom pants and all that and chop her hair and stop looking feminine and sexy? It's a fair question. I mean, a woman gets pregnant and has a child. It's understandable that she's going to put on weight. It may take some time to get off. I get that and respect that. But I think within a year, it's reasonable. Action can be taken. Okay, I know plenty of women that have gained a lot of weight when they had their kid, and within a year, boom, it's gone, and they're still looking damn good. They're moms, but they still look damn good for being, obviously, having a kid and all that. So it's possible. Or did she at any time, because she doesn't mention it here, did she sit the guy down and explain that she was unhappy? Did she communicate with him? She doesn't mention it here. I'm willing to bet you that she probably was dropping hints, but that doesn't work with most guys, okay? Because you got to be direct with us. Men are not like women. Women can pick up on hints. That's just how they communicate. Men are different. You got to be as direct as possible with us. Goes on. But Kay realizes that she may have made a huge mistake and believes she chose the wrong man to have an affair with. Uh-oh. She says, I made a stupid mistake. I definitely chose the wrong man because about 6 months into our relationship, Tim ditched me for another woman. How about that? And to make it even worse, the woman he chose over me was much younger than me and also worked in the office. So I had to see her at work every day. It was very painful, Kay says. Oh, poor baby. We got to feel really bad for her. You know, guys, you ever have a woman do you wrong? Your girlfriend cheats on you, your wife cheats on you. The two best ways to get even is, number one, move on with your life and be happy. Success is the best revenge. Do well for yourself. And number two, your next girl is way younger than her and way better looking with her. That will drive them fucking crazy. She just mentioned it right here. What was worse? The woman was younger. She says, I was devastated, and because I was such a wreck, I ended up confessing to Rob. He was mortified. I hurt him so much. I begged him to forgive me. He agreed with me that he was partly to blame for me cheating on him because he had neglected me for so long. It was because he treated me with such indifference that I was tempted by this new relationship. You see the justification going on here? You see the gaslighting? You know, it happens. And the guy, of course, is just like, well, I guess it's my fault because I didn't do all that. You know, but did she communicate how unhappy she was? Not one thing is mentioned about that. And did she put on 50 pounds? Did she stop taking care of herself? You know? And, you know, you never know with this guy. This guy could have just been so busy on his grind, taking care of his family, you know? But that's a mistake a lot of guys do. Like I said, you got to give them the attention and validation in varying degrees and take them out every once in a while. For most women, that's enough. We had marriage counseling and things were okay for a while. I started to heal from my breakup with Tim, and I was sure that Rob was feeling a lot better and that he'd forgiven me. But Kay was wrong. She was completely unaware that her life was about to get even worse. Throughout all this, this is the woman saying this. Throughout all this, my best friend Gina was my shoulder to cry on. What I didn't realize is that she was also a shoulder for Rob to cry on. And I was very puzzled that about a year later, Gina drifted away from me. She was no longer my friend. She didn't return phone calls, and eventually I got the hint that she didn't want to be in my life, Kay says. And then one day, Rob told me he wanted a divorce. I was shocked. I thought we were doing okay. And then he dropped the biggest bombshell of all. He and Gina were in love, and they were moving in together. How about that? So, she has the affair with the younger guy at work. Younger guy at work then kicks her to the curb after 6 months. I got bored with her. Now hooking up with a younger woman, and so that obviously hurt her pretty bad. And then she confesses to her husband because now pretty much she realizes things suck, so I'll just go back to my husband. And he plays it cool. Meanwhile, he's playing divorce and hooking up with Gina. Talk about payback's a bitch and karma's a bitch. She goes on, how could she do this to me? I cried until I was an absolute wreck. I was totally broken. And then Rob told me something that chilled me. He said that I deserved everything that happened to me after what I had put him through. So him being with Gina felt like the ultimate payback. You know, it's amazing to me, you know, how women can turn on each other. It's unbelievable. Now, I'm not saying guys can't turn on each other. I mean, I've done plenty of stories where the best friend of a guy, his supposed best friend, ends up hooking up with his girlfriend or his wife or something like that. But it is definitely different. Guys are better in that department, but a lot of women, you know, you don't have many guys that have what they call frenemies. Women will have frenemies, or women they hang out with, and that they hang out, but they don't really trust them. There's always some kind of bullshit and drama because, as I've told you before, women are attracted to drama the way a moth is attracted to a flame. Guaranteed. So that every girl, guys, you're watching this right now, your girlfriend, your wife, your sister, your mom, whatever, they're always going to have a couple friends that they hang out with from time to time in a group, and they don't really trust them. They're a friend of me, and you know it. It's ridiculous. No guy would waste their time with that kind of bullshit. But right here, she's crying to Gina. Meanwhile, Gina is hooking up with the husband. Gina probably had the hots for the guy and felt bad for him, and then saw this as a great opportunity to get him instead. But I would not trust a woman like this. You know, this guy, if he gets serious with her, she may do the same thing to him one day. Goes on. He denied this and said that's just how it all happened, and that he and Gina fell in love, and that's how it is. I don't care what he says. I refuse to believe that those two will last, and that once Rob has felt like he has gotten even for the way I treated him, that he will find his way back to me again. I'm sure of this. Yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath. Rob may get burned Rob may be having fun with Gina, and eventually he either may get bored with her, or maybe she'll burn him, because Gina doesn't sound like a very reliable, classy gal. But going back to the wife, I don't think so. Not after what happened. Family lawyer Marie Fedorov says, when it comes to divorce, regardless of the circumstances, it's important to be civil. You don't have to pretend the conflict between you and your ex-partner doesn't exist, but you also need to be aggressive. Do not need to be aggressive towards them. The more respectful you are, the easier it will be to reach an agreement when settling in a divorce, Marie says. Well, I agree with all that, but that's all fine and dandy, but the problem is you bring emotions into it, and it's World War III between the two spouses. And let's be honest here, divorce attorneys make their money by prolonging the drama, because the longer the drama goes out and the more they're fighting over bullshit, the more billable hours and money that attorney is going to make. Okay, so if everybody was a bunch of Vulcans, where they focused, their operating system was based on logic, they would have as minimal drama as possible, because the divorced attorneys won't make all the money. But us humans, we're not Vulcans. We generally are emotional, and a divorce will go on forever, fighting over stupid bullshit like the couch or the car or something like that, forever. And the divorce attorneys make out like bandits. But she is right if you can keep it as civil as possible. She says, think about where you would like to see yourself in the future, not just 6 months ahead. Ask yourself where you want to be in 15 to 20 years. That should help point you in the direction you want to go. When facing significant changes, it can be difficult to see beyond the present. Looking ahead helps put everything into perspective and provides a sense of comfort knowing that eventually this change will be a mere learning curve. Well, I don't know where the hell she's going on with that, but the point of the whole video is this, guys, like I said before. You're going to do relationships, give her some attention and validation, adequate amount, so to speak. Take her out every now and again, but no fucking excuse for the woman to cheat, and it goes both ways. If the guy's unhappy too, better just to either end the relationship and move on, or sit the person down and talk to them. Now, if she sat the dude down and constantly tried to directly communicate with the guy that she's unhappy, he doesn't take her out and all that stuff, and he's still not doing that, still not helping her out, then she has every right not to cheat on him, but every right to basically say, hey, you know what, I'm not happy, this didn't work out, and end the relationship, okay? And the same thing goes for the guy. But the cheating always can come back to bite you in the ass, because all the lying and all that stuff going on, it's just unfortunate. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this, and be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.